Welcome back to our Wealthy Mindset, where we talk about all things money, mindset, and business. It's your host, Cindy, and today's episode is going to be a little different. We're not talking about numbers, we're not talking about financial strategy. Today, we're going deeper. We're talking about shame that comes around money. The kind of shame that keeps you stuck, the kind that whispers, you should be farther along by now. The kind that makes you feel like you're failing even when you're not. So let's talk about it with honesty, compassion, and zero judgment. So let me start with this. You're not the only one feeling this. We're all suffering from this silently, and it's something we don't openly talk about. I've worked with women making 100K a year and women making 500K plus. And guess what? They both said the same thing to me. I feel like I should be farther along right now. I don't want anyone to know how bad it is behind the scenes. I'm embarrassed that I've made this much and have nothing to show for it. Shame doesn't care how successful you look. It doesn't care how many clients you have or how much you've made. It lives in silence and it thrives in isolation. But you're not broken. You're not bad with money. You're just a beginner. You're navigating something that no one has ever taught you how to do. And it's okay to feel like you're behind. But I need you to know that that shame feeling does not define your worth. So let's be real. As women, we'll talk about anything with our girlfriends. We'll talk about dating. We'll talk about our shopping sprees, the trips we're going on, the trips we want to go on. We'll talk about the drama, skincare routine, bachelorette trips, weddings, even things we do with our estheticians. But when it comes to money, it's silence. We'll say, let's go on this trip, but no one wants to admit that it's going to go on a credit card. No one has money saved up for it, and you're going to struggle to pay it off. We'll say business is amazing when deep down you're barely breaking even and just barely getting by. We'll say, I just made a big investment, but won't talk about how we're panicking over whether it'll pay off or not, and if we made the right decision. We're out here performing like everything is fine, like we have it all put together, while silently and behind the scenes, we're all struggling. And we're wondering if we're doing it wrong and like, why is dealing with money such a challenge? And you start to think you're the only one struggling with it when reality is everybody's struggling. So we've just never been given a safe place to talk about money without judgment. So let this be the space. And while we're here, let me say this clearly. It's okay to say no to the trip. It's okay to say no to brunch. It's okay to say, I don't want to blow all my money right now on this. It's okay to protect your future, even if it means skipping brunch or happy hour once in a while. You're not being cheap. You're not being boring. You're building something bigger and you're spending your money with intention rather than blowing it off on a weekend getaway. And there's so much pressure to say yes, to show up, to spend, to keep up, and feeling like you're going to have FOMO if you don't show up. But let me be the friend who tells you this. You don't owe anyone a yes that costs your peace. Your boundaries are valid, your goals are valid, and so is your choice to honor them, even if it means sitting one out. Real friends will understand, and if they don't, that says more about them than it does about you. So let's talk about the shame at the root. Most of us were taught how to spend money, how to shop, how to swipe, but not how to save, manage, grow, or lead with it. We weren't taught how to track income, build a financial plan, or even set money goals that feel good and aligned. So if you're confused, if you're overwhelmed, if you feel like you're behind, that's not a flaw. That's a system that failed to teach you, and it's not your fault. But you get to choose to change that today. You get to learn, you get to start fresh, and you get to do it without shaming yourself for not knowing sooner. Be gentle with yourself. You're doing the best you can with what you have been taught, and that matters. So let's get honest about how shame creeps in. You avoid looking at your bank account because it stresses you out. You swipe the credit card without wanting to look at what the balance is. You delay hiring because you don't want anyone to see the mess. You stay busy instead of strategic, hoping it'll all just magically work out. You keep smiling online, but feel anxious every time Stripe or CRA emails you. And this is so common, but it's not where you have to stay. The truth is, you can't grow what you're afraid to look at, and you don't need to do it alone. So let me tell you what happens when you drop the shame. You take your power back. You get clear, you get organized, you stop hiding from your numbers and start using them to make powerful decisions. You learn how to manage your money with love and not fear. You start holding yourself with grace and with boundaries. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And I want you to know you're still worthy, even in the middle of figuring it all out. So I want to leave you with this. Self-love isn't just bubble baths and journaling. Sometimes it's saying, I made a mistake, but I can fix it. I didn't know better, but I'm learning. I'm not where I want to be with my money, but I'm a beginner at this. But I still love myself through this process. Being kind to yourself is a strategy because you don't build wealth from a place of shame. You build it from a place of ownership, clarity, and compassion. So you're not behind. You're right on time because today you're facing it. And that's where change begins. So if you've been carrying money shame throughout your whole life, I see you. You're not alone. You're not bad with money. You're just learning how to do it differently. Let this be your permission slip to stop hiding, to start asking for help, to stop blaming yourself, to start choosing a new story. Because you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You just have to start. So this is your wealthy era. Let it be built on honesty, strategy, and self-love. If this episode spoke to your heart, send it to a friend who also needs to hear it. And if you're ready to get support with your money, you know where to find me. And I'll see you in the next episode.